There are few survivors remaining from the 1930s Dust Bowl that devastated the Midwest during the Great Depression. And here on Lakeland Public Television, PBS will be airing a two-part documentary, The Dust Bowl. Now, for this week's In Focus, Jamil Doneth spoke with a survivor who lives in the Bemidji area and tells us his story of surviving the Dust Bowl.
And he was so proud of his new hog shed.
Lowell Kastner is one of few alive to survive the Dust Bowl, but like many others, his family's farm never recovered.
The land was their living, and you don't like to leave that. It's your livelihood.
One of four children growing up in Wessington, South Dakota, Kastner was only about 7 years old when the Dust Bowl hit in the early 1930s, completely wiping out his father's once prosperous farmstead.
My dad was actually probably pretty well off at one time before the Dust Bowl hit.
But at almost 87 years old, Kastner has a vivid memory.
It just comes rolling, and you can see it. There's blue sky above, but this dirt is up probably 500-600 feet.
Drought, soil decimation, greed, destructive farming practices, and extreme winds caused topsoil and sand to lift into the air, creating one of the worst man-made natural disasters in history.
The wind comes so hard, it blew the roofs off of the buildings.
Because the dust was so fine, it was hard to keep it out of the house. So Kastner and his family would put wet rags over the cracks of the doors and the windows. However, it still got in regardless, and it was all over the food, furniture, pretty much everything in the house was covered in dust.
You could play a game of cat on the table every 15-20 minutes. There would be that much dirt coming into the house.
Kastner's father, like many farmers, were determined to weather the storm.
He lasted longer than anybody else, but he lost it all.
After attempting to raise sheep and turkeys with no luck, Kastner's father finally called it quits and decided to move to northern Minnesota.
We paid $25 down on one farm and nothing down on the other farm. We bought a complete farm, buildings, well, a whole bit, with nothing but a handshake. That's how tough it was in the 30s.
Many farmers headed out west to escape the Dust Bowl, but a small group, including Kastner's family, started over in Solway.
This whole thing.
Where Kastner met his wife in grade school.
She fell in love with me right away, and I played hard to get. I bought the farm, and I farmed for 25 years.
While roughly 80 years ago, for anyone who survived the Dust Bowl, no matter how much time passes, their memories of that dark period always remain clear. For this week's In Focus, Jamil Doneth, Lakeland News.
Amazing story and amazing interview there. The Dust Bowl premieres right here on Lakeland Public Television on Sunday and Monday at 8 in the evening. And if you'd like to see Kastner's entire interview, it will soon be available to view on our website at lptv.org.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.